Okay, happy Thursday. We need to finish up this chapter of the Westing game. The kids and the adults have not yet met in the coffee shop to share their clues, but that's about to happen. And J.J. Ford is having a party. This is all during the snowstorm. I'm going to the party with Mrs. Bomback, Turtle remarked. The sign said everyone's invited. Again, Grace ignored her. By the way, Miss Pulaski, I do hope you've changed your mind about showing me your notes. It was the secretary's turn to seal her lips. She wouldn't put it past that uppity Grace Winslow Wexler to steal the notebook from an unfortunate woman and then rub it in. Grace tried again, with her voice dripping with honey. You know, of course, that if I win the inheritance, everything I own goes to Angela. Turtle bounced up. Let me out of here. A person can't breathe in this closet. Why do you think she's upset? Everything Grace owns goes to Angela? Turtle kicked the bed, she kicked the chair, she kicked the desk, and she elbowed past the disapproving secretary. What in the world's wrong with that child? Her mother said. George Ford was instructing Theo in the art of bartending when the telephone rang. The snowbound paperman, had found several items in the files. Well, first I found the engagement announcement of Angela Wexler to D. Denton Deary. Next, several clippings on a lawsuit brought against Sam Westing by an inventor named... Hold on, please. Mr. Hu waddled in with a large tray of appetizers. The judge pointed him to the serving buffet and apologized to her caller. I'm sorry, would you repeat the name of the inventor? It was James Hu. He claimed that Westing stole his idea for the paper diaper, which is a disposable diaper. 1 minute, please. The judge cupped her hand over the mouthpiece. Please don't leave, Mr. Hu. I was hoping you'd just stay for the party as a guest, of course. Your wife and son, too. Hu grunted, though. He hated parties. He had seen his fill of people eating and drinking and acting like clowns, jabbering like... So that's it. Jabbering, dropping clues. I'll be right back, said Mr. Hu. The receiver hissed with an impatient sigh, and the researcher went on. I have a thick file of sports information on another Hu, a Doug Hu. Seems he runs a pretty fast mile for a high school kid. That's all I could find on the names you gave me. But I still have stacks of Westing clippings to go through. Thanks so much, said J.J. Ford. The doorbell rang. The party was about to begin. So, we didn't learn anything but something big. Mr. Hu's an inventor, and he sued Westing back in the day over the rights to the disposable diaper. Because you can imagine how much money the disposable diaper would make if you own that patent. It's stuffed animal day. Okay, we'll read a little bit of chapter 10, The Long Party. I hope we're not too early. Grace Winslow Wexler always arrived at parties fashionably late, but not tonight. She didn't want to miss a thing or a clue or wait around her apartment with a murderer on the loose. I don't think you've met my husband, Dr. Wexler. Call me Jake. Hello, Jake, Judge Ford said. A firm handshake, laugh lines around his eyes. He needed a sense of humor with that social climbing wife. What a lovely living room and so practically furnished, Grace commented. Our apartments are identical in layout, but mine looks so different. You must come see what I've done with it. I'm a decorator, you know. 3 bedrooms do seem rather spacious for a single woman. Grace is the queen of dropping masked insults. She's like insulting J.J. Ford for being single and for having practical furniture. What does that mean, 3 bedrooms? This is a 1-bedroom apartment, Judge J.J. Ford thought. Would you care for an appetizer, Mrs. Wexler? I'm curious to know exactly how you are related to the Weston family. The judge had hoped to take the heiress by surprise, but Grace gained some time by coughing. Oh, goodness gracious, that ginger is spicy. It's the Szechuan cooking style, you know. Well, how am I related? Let me see. Uncle Sam was my father's oldest brother. Or was he the youngest brother of my father's father? Well, excuse me, I have to go greet my other guests. The judge left the prattling pretender. Father's brother or father's father's brother? If the relationship was on the paternal side, her maiden name would be Westing. The party went on and on. No one dared to be the first to leave. Safety in numbers, especially with the judge there. So the guests ate and drank and jabbered, and they watched the other guests eat and drink and jabber. No one laughed. Jabber means just talk and talk and talk. Well, I guess a murder isn't that funny, said Jake Wexler. Neither is money, said Mr. Who, glumly. Deciding that his wife had found the perfect partner, the podiatrist moved on to the two women standing in silence at the front window. Cheer up, Angie Pie. You'll see your Dr. Denton soon. His daughters twisted out of his embrace. Are you all right, Angela? He said. I'm fine. She was not fine. Why did they always ask her about Denton? As though she was nobody without him. Oh, it wasn't just that. It wasn't even the humiliation of her mother chiding her about her twin costume in front of everyone and sending her back to the apartment to change her clothes. It was more than that. It was everything. Jake turned to Madam Who. Hi there, partner. She doesn't speak English, Dad, Angela said flatly. And she never will, Angela, if no one talks to her. Snow, said Madam Who. Jake followed her pointing finger. That's right, snow, lots of it, and lots of snow. Trees, road, Lake Michigan. China, said Madam Who. China, said Jake. Sure, why not? Jake replied, China. Angela left the chatting couple. Why couldn't she have made some sort of friendly gesture? Because she might do the wrong thing and annoy her mother. Angela, the obedient daughter, did only what her mother told her to do. Hello, Angela. One of these tidbits might cheer you up. Judge Ford held the tray before her. I hear you'll be getting married soon. Some people have all the luck, said Seidel Pulaski, appearing from nowhere to lean over this tray to spear a cube of pork. Of course, not all us women have opted for marriage. Right, Judge Ford? Some of us prefer the professional life. Though I must say, if a handsome young doctor like Denton Deary proposed to me, I might just change my mind. Too bad he doesn't happen to have a twin. Excuse me, said the judge, moving away. I'm not having any luck at all, Seidel whined to Angela. If only your mother hadn't made you change your clothes, someone surely would have mentioned twins. It's much harder to judge reactions when I have to bring up the subject myself. You shouldn't let your mother boss you around like that. You're a grown woman, Angela, about to be married. Excuse me. Angela moved away. Yes, thank you. I would like a refill, Seidel said to nobody and hobbled to the bar. Something non-alcoholic, please. Doctor's orders. Make it a double. Twins. Twins? What's she talking about? Theo wondered, staring at the black and white checkered costume. 2 ginger ale for the chessboard. Coming right up. Hidden among her guests, the judge studied the 2 people standing off in the corner, the only parents on Dent Towers who were not Westing heirs. George Theodorakis placed his hand on his shoulder of his son, Chris. It was a large, bronze, hard-working hand, like Theo's hand. Theo resembled him in many ways, too. Tall, wide-shouldered, slim-waisted, the same thick, straight black hair. But age had chiseled the father's face into sharper planes. His troubled eyes stared across the room at Angela. Catherine Theodorakis, their mom, was a slight, careworn woman, gazing down on her younger son with tired, dark-circled eyes. From his wheelchair, Chris watched the legs. Other than the funny woman with the shorthand notes, the only limpers were his brother Theo. Turtle had kicked him again. And Mrs. Wexler, who stood on one leg, rubbing her stockinged foot against her calf. A high-heeled shoe stood alone on the carpet beneath her. Judge Ford didn't limp. Besides, she couldn't be a murderer in spite of his clues. Nobody here looks like a murderer. They're all nice people. Even this fat man, Mr. Who grumbles all the time. George Theodorakis greeted Mr. Who with, "How's business?" Who spun around and stomped off from his fellow restaurant owner in a huff of anger. James Who, inventor. That's who the judge wanted to talk to. But there was a problem at the bar. A long line had formed and it wasn't moving. "There are 16 white pieces and 16 black pieces in chess," Theo was explaining to Seidel Pulaski. "Do you play chess, Judge Ford?" "A bit, but I haven't played in years." The judge led the secretary away from the bar. Theo must think that the Weston game has something to do with chess. He might be right. It certainly is as complicated as a chess game. "But I did study," Doug was arguing. The judge interrupted. "I haven't had a chance to thank you for the delicious food, Mr. Who. How long have you been in the restaurant business?" Who continued to argue with Doug. "Running up and down the stairs is not studying," said Who. Seidel Pulaski butted in. "Oh, father and son, you look more like twins." "You're equal partners with that Theodorakis kid," Who continued. Why didn't you insist on holding the meeting in our restaurant instead of that greasy coffee shop?" "Because some people don't like to eat chow mein noodles for breakfast," Seidel Pulaski replied. There you are, dear." Grace patted a stray wisp of Angela's hair into place. "We must do something about your coiffure. I'll make an appointment for you with the hairdresser once the snow is cleared. Long hair is too youthful for a woman about to be married. I can't understand what's gotten into you, Angela, coming to this party in that old checkered dress and those awful accessories just because your partner dresses like a freak." "She's not a freak, Mother." "Oh, I was just speaking to Mr. Who about catering the wedding shower on Saturday. I arranged for Madame Who to serve in one of her Chinese gowns. Where are you going, Angela?" Angela rushed into Judge Ford's kitchen. She had to get away. She had to be alone by herself, or she'd burst out crying. But she was not alone in the kitchen. Crow was there, and the two women stared at each other in surprise and then turned away. Poor baby. Crow wanted to reach out to the pretty child. She wanted to take Angela in her arms and say, "Poor, poor baby. Go ahead and cry." But she couldn't. All she could say was, "Here." Angela took the dish towel from the cleaning woman and bunched it against her face to muffle her sobs. The guests jabbered on and on about the weather, about food, about football, chess, about twins. Turtle was slumped on the couch, scornful of dumb grown-up parties. You'd think one of them would know something about the stock market. She missed Sandy. Sandy was the only one in this dumb building she could talk to. All right, so we're going to stop there. In the middle of the party with Angela and Crow in the kitchen, Jake Wexler talking to Madame Who, Grace Winslow Wexler being annoying. You notice how she treats Madame Who kind of like an object. She wants her to dress up in her, her cultural Chinese outfit and serve everybody at Angela's shower, which again matches her bigoted behavior. Mr. Who continues to be mad. Judge Ford hasn't gotten to talk to Mr. Who. None of the guests really have gotten what they wanted yet. Okay, bye.